Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. I've been meaning to watch that. I'm your host Monica, and we're back again. New week, new topic, new guests every single week. And guys, today we have a very special guest with us. We actually have a returning guest with us. He came on before to talk about one of his favorite animes, which is Sergeant Frog, which I have been rewatching time and time again because I really do love that show. And we are back again. He is a Twitch streamer who has over 900 followers, so close to 1,000 guys. Let's follow him and get him to 1,000. He is hilarious. He shares really funny stories on his TikTok, where you guys should go follow him as well. He is funny. He is goofy. He's one of my favorite people on the internet. I want you all to give a very warm welcome to Taco Bob. Yay!
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here again. Like real shit. Also, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying Sergeant Frog. That actually makes me smile very hard on that one.
I have been loving it because I needed something fun to watch after finishing the show that we're talking about today, which is Jujutsu Kaisen. The anime that absolutely swept the Crunchyroll Awards. The anime that everybody's been talking about and is coming back very soon with season 3, which is said to be even more intense than season 2. So
I don't think I can handle that.
we really just need to buckle up for the ride. And before we get to JJK, we're going to get into our first segment, which is called Media Mania, where we talk about entertainment news, new releases, and things of that nature. And one thing that I want to talk about before we get started was Zack Snyder, because he still works. He still, makes movies in Hollywood. And recently he made a movie called Rebel Moon, which I think is like a Netflix spin-off of Star Wars.
Ass.
The thing is that I didn't even watch the movie because why would I do that?
Spoiler for you. It was ass.
Yeah.
Like it was a 40-pack of ass. I ain't even gonna hold you like.
It was a 40-pack. What is?
Like, I'm gonna push my hair back so you can look me in the eyes when I say this. That shit.
Oh my gosh.
Was like, bro, like, this is the guy that kept saying, "Release the Snyder cut. We need to see Snyder's vision." It took him 4 hours for a comic book movie. That's nothing. But how do you double down on your assness? Okay, I'm sorry. Proceed. Continue. My bad.
No. I mean, you're not wrong. I've never been a huge fan of Zack Snyder, and I feel like my initial taste of Zack Snyder was Watchmen 2009, which I was not a fan of because I really did like the Watchmen comics, which I had read in my public library, and then I watched the movie and I was like, oh, this is
something about it seems off.
This is not the same thing.
Like I remember, because like funny if I like as a kid I remember watching the movie first, right? Really enjoying the movie. But then I had a history teacher when I was like in like high school, I want to say like 10th grade, 9th grade. Around the time when you really start if you're into nerdy stuff, you really start finding your own spacing. He had like a philosophy book about Watchmen. Like, because I remember reading the comic book already, and then because I used to go to his class, used to like exchange books and talk about comic book stuff. He's like, "Hey, if you even see the Watchmen, you might enjoy this. Give it a read." And I remember going through that book. I remember just going through that, breaking down the characters, why the importance of the time of the year, like the year that's based in, and everything. While the clock itself was it was so many things that was such an important piece of it. So rewatching that in comparison to the book, in comparison to like I was like, bro, you had one of the easiest things in your hand, and you fucked that. Okay.
Honestly, like, whenever I talk to other friends of mine that are really into movies, they seem to really like Watchmen just for what it is. And me personally, because I was such a huge fan of the comics, I could not get into the movie because everything about the movie was so, like, it wasn't like the comics at all, or like anything about the characters matched up seriously.
I do feel like this. I feel like when it comes to like, if we're looking at comic book movies in general that like like, oh, they loosely use characters that are from the like. It does a good job on that. I feel like as a movie, if it was a stand by itself, a movie, not a bad idea. I actually fucks with it, even when it comes to the actual like the ending and everything. Right? I really do fuck with it. But like we said, it like when you're trying to like figure out the characters and all this, I'm like you know.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I get that. And Zack Snyder has definitely made a name for himself in making like superhero movies and just big budget blockbuster films. And Rebel Moon was a film that was announced, I think, last year, and it was supposed to be like this really big draw, this really big thing from Netflix, and it just kind of like didn't just do as well as people thought it was going to do. And I don't know why people expected so much out of him, because Zack Snyder is not someone who, like, time and time again makes like phenomenal films. Like, he made 300, which is a great movie, but like you can't expect a director to make like films that knock it out of the park every single time. Like, he's not Christopher Nolan, he's not David Fincher, you know, he's not like these other guys. And he went on the Joe Rogan podcast. What?
I'm gonna say this, and like when we talk about movies, especially you mentioned 300.
Yeah.
Have you rewatched that movie?
I honestly didn't even watch it in full when I first watched it, and I watched it when I was too young to even comprehend what was going on.
Yeah. Once again, that movie is a TBS TNT fucking movie they love replaying. It's not that good. Like, it was cool for the time. I feel like at the time that movie was made, it was great. The slow-mo slashing, the CGI, that was really dope. Now, nah. Not even. The 300 kick still might be one of the hardest things about that movie, and that's it.
Dang.
We're not going to talk about the bullshit propaganda behind it too, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Right. Well, Zack Snyder went on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he had a lot of things to say. First, he said that Rebel Moon competed with Barbie in terms of streaming numbers because of how Netflix model is set up. And then he said something about Batman and how it's irrelevant to have, like, not have a superhero that doesn't, like, kill, which I think is, like, I mean, not your place to say, because you no longer are in charge of that story. It's now, like...
I feel like even as, like, I'm not even a motherfucker that's a Batman fan. I'm not, like, I think the closest thing I get for Batman is, like, I love the Batman video games, right? Like, the Arkham series, phenomenal. You feel me? And you can see how that game in general has affected, like, especially like open world, free flowing fighting games, right? Like your Spider-Mans and a whole bunch of other sets of that nature. But I'm not really a fan of him. And I'm gonna say, you have to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers out there to really think, oh, it doesn't make sense. He doesn't have a no killing rule. That is like what makes Batman. Because let's be honest, Batman is bat shit. Right, that man is out here in a single one-man fucking onesie with like chest plate armor that covers up in bullets. Like, he's not there. The only thing that separates him from him and Joker, because he said it before, is the fact that he doesn't kill. Like, he knows if something was to happen, he did that. It's curtains for everybody. Like, you don't understand the actual character that you're. Everyone keeps saying, like, oh, you did such a great job, and this is why your movies fail.
No, I believe you. This is why
you don't do good superhero movies.
Yeah. If you do not understand your characters and understand their motivations and understand where they're coming from and why they do things, then you're going to create, like, almost shadows of the character, or what you see in the character, just not who they truly are. Which is why Watchmen, the HBO series, is such a better follow-up to the comics rather than the 2009 movie. Because the 2009 movie just looks at Watchmen comics and just tries to make a superhero movie. You don't look at what Watchmen is saying and like the messages they're spreading. Especially like you said before, the year that Watchmen takes place is so significant to American history, and also just like how it affects like so many other things. And the show follows that up perfectly. Yeah, it was never touched on. And then the show follows it up perfectly in like present day politics by exploring Watchmen. And I feel like with Zack Snyder, he's just, I don't know how to explain this. He's just such a bro. Like, he feels like he could just say things in absolutes and it's just gospel. And that's not how it works. Yeah. Like, we exist in the real world, Cyril, not your dreamland, okay?
Like,
be for real.
It's one of those things where I feel like he understands his fan base and his fan base understands him. everybody outside that bubble was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, no, seriously, because you just hit the nail on the head perfectly.
Yeah.
If you don't know what the characters you're making, and you're still going like, these is like the most shallowest version of each character I can find, and you're going, we're going to use that. This is that conversation, like, problems. This is how I knew for a fact I personally wasn't going to like the Snyder cut when this movie came out, or like when hit like the his whole little thing what he was doing came out. I had a coworker who never read any kind of comic books, who never like did any of that stuff, but he loved like the DCU and the MCU, right? He was in love with it. But when things start changing to not to like suit his comfort, you know, different characters now showing up, some people like people of color, insert here. Motherfuckers start getting uncomfortable, and you could tell that was also his fan base. Because it's like, release a Snyder cut, But it's like, you're doing the same beat that any Saturday morning, you know, cartoon did for like these heroes. Some did better, actually. Personal opinion. Like,
yeah. And to be honest, I never really cared about the Snyder cut, because I feel like if you're making a movie, I understand, like, whenever you're making a film and you're making it under a studio heads will have a say and creative control. Yeah. And oftentimes writers and directors do not have a full say in, like, what goes into the movie, and a lot of things change. Like, I once watched a video that Variety did in, like, the making of a Marvel movie. And when they made Ant-Man, I think it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, they started making that movie, I think 4 years before it even came out. And there were so many steps to making that film that it wasn't just the directors, it wasn't just the writers, it was so many different people. There were 20 other people involved in the process that do not end up on the credits at the end of the film. So it's not just like cut and dry. So I get that the Snyder cut was like something the fans wanted to tell his story in full. However, when you are the director, when you are in charge of a story, you know what you want to say. You know what you want to reveal. Just make your movie, bro. Like, that's really that's really it. Longer movie doesn't mean a better movie. Not always.
Yeah, no. Like there are movies like I've been hearing great things about. I think it's Dune 2. I think it is.
Yeah, Dune 2.
I think somebody said the best thing to me and like that got me a little excited to go see it is like I didn't even realize I was in a 2-hour movie. Like, apparently the movie is like 2 hours long, and they say it doesn't feel like that. You're going through the movie, you're going through the world, you're going through this experience, and it's like, boom, 2 hours are done. I remember I tried to watch a little bit of the Snyder Cut. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Because once again, it doesn't feel like these characters are real. They feel like they are just like, hi, I'm superhero number insert here. And it's like, So once again, long story short, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like at the age that you're at when you're making films, something's just gotta give. You know what I mean? Like, even what he said about Barbie, when he said that, like, more people possibly watch Rebel Moon than people saw Greta Gerwig's Barbie, at that point, I feel like it's nothing short of delusion.
Yeah, you know? No, because, like, I watched Barbie. I watched that movie, like, fucking twice. That's a beautiful movie.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Really is.
Why would
be great? And you can tell me that you see, like, more people watched your thing than... Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
How is that possible when no one is talking about your movie?
Like as people who've been on like social media, like, you know, other apps and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
We saw how wild Barbie was getting, like, when it was in theaters, and then when it came out to like on stream on HBO Max, we saw the impact. Like, people brought that movie up to, like, people were fucking like rewatching it and rewatching it. Like, no one talked about your movie.
Yeah.
Except for like a few new reviewers I noticed said, hey, this is real bad.
Yeah. Like, with Barbie, it was a cultural and, like, worldwide phenomenon. Like, people were talking about that movie before it even came out. And then after it came out, people are still talking about it. And whether it was, like, positive feedback or, like, constructive feedback, everyone was discussing this movie that seemed so different and so unique and just amazingly made. And with Rebel Moon, it's just another one of the films that Zack Snyder is now making for Netflix. The same with his Army of the Dead series. And I watched...
Oh, that was his film.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't watch it. Okay, cool.
I actually watched Army of the Dead simply because Dave Bautista is in it.
Yeah. I literally wanted to watch it because Batista's on it. One of my favorite fucking wrestlers of all time. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it because of him, but it was like I literally started like watching other things and completely forgot that movie existed until we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Right now.
I would say it's alright. If I had to grade it, I would give it a C. You know, I feel like there are some interesting things in the film, and he's not shy of like killing off characters and like doing what he needs to do for the plot. But overall, it's not like I feel like it's not that much different from any other zombie apocalypse movie. You know, it just looks.
If at least a handful of characters don't die, I don't feel like this zombie apocalypse is real. Like I need to know.
Yeah, there are definitely high stakes in the movie. Like, they put a lot of effort into making the film. And you can tell, like, where the money went into this movie. Like, I can see the vision. And there was, like, a spin-off for one of the characters in the film that wasn't that interesting. I even watched that movie because I didn't even care about that character. And there's supposed to be a sequel coming out soon, which I find interesting. I think one of the actors who was in that movie is also in Power, and he's possibly going to be the lead in the sequel. I forget the actor's name. This is my bad, but I feel like
it's okay. I didn't watch Power either, so it's just
I feel like Zack Snyder just has like kind of a blank check from Netflix, same way Adam Sandler does. So
at least with Adam Sandler movies, I'm willing to give those a watch.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you watch an Adam Sandler movie, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know. It sometimes is not the best. Sometimes it might be a gem. You feel me? Not all his movies going to be great, but you know you're going to get a few laughs. Mm-hmm. With Captain Dipshit over here, I can't really guarantee that all the time. Right? Like, bro, you had like, I think Army of the Dead had two of my favorite actors. Batista, it was a Asian guy right now. He has a FX TV show right now he's doing. I cannot remember the guy's name off the top of my head.
I think I know who you're talking about though. The show's called Shogun, right?
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
I need to watch it. I need to watch that.
Me too.
Right? But he's also in it. Like from what I've seen, like I know what's going on. I know the main plot of the movie. I haven't got to the space where they were in the area. Because once again, that movie, I'm not joking. That movie was on while me and my mother was in the middle of a conversation. I picked up some notes and I went back to my room. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll watch it. Never did.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. Also, Adam Sandler, he makes fun movies and he knows how to make a good movie. That's the thing. Adam Sandler understands like the movie making business. He understands what it takes to make a film. And we see this with like, I feel like You're Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah, Uncut Gems, and 100% Fresh. Those are three examples of how Adam Sandler is talented and he knows how to make strong artistic works. And he'll make things that are just fun, just comedies, just to make some money. He'll make stuff that's for the family. You know what I mean? Or things to just watch in the background. Zack Snyder prides himself on being somehow an auteur of comic book movies when he does not understand that he is mediocre. Just. Like, that's like, just it.
You can't say you know about comic book movies if your comic book movies are ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like especially if we're looking at characters and we're looking at characters like in Batman and fucking all this other shit. Like there's so many variations of him that's been done correct. That's not just in comic books. It's like, how in the hell are you doing this? Batman the animated series, prime example, top of the list of things we're thinking about. We're thinking about Batman as a character. You can literally watch all of that and get all the information you need about this one character without reading a single comic book and be like, okay, I now have an idea of what this man is. Especially since when his version of the series, Batman is older. Batman's at the space in his life where he would be like what the Dark Knight Returns is, like an older, more grizzled kind of like spacing in his life. But you, once again, how the fuck you can say, oh, I don't say Batman? You should know this. You had hands on the character itself, and that's lets me know everything I need to know. Like,
yeah, I agree with you. I fully agree with you on that. And honestly, anything else Zack Snyder makes, I'm not gonna watch because I don't like that man. I
Yeah,
don't care.
it's also so easy to not watch the motherfuckers you don't enjoy. Like I'm very happy about
Yes.
that. It is so easy to go. Oh, I don't like insert like insert comedian here. It's
Yeah.
so easy for me to go. Oh, we're all talking about it. I'm not watching that shit. And
Don't
go
care.
find something else. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. It's so much easier for me to go. That's cute. Next.
Yeah. I feel like that brings like more peace to you rather than like hate watching something just so you can like
Yeah.
commentate on it. Like I do not go to that trouble at all. Like even with like one show on Netflix called You, I did start watching that, but after like season 3, I was like, you know what? Actually, let me know when he dies. I'm done.
You know what? You got farther than me. I got to like the first episode of season 1 and went, nah, I'm good, Playboy. I'm good.
Stop, Playboy.
Okay, because like I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're gonna get this as first. I used to fuck with Gossip Girl back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like if you didn't have cable, you had to watch whatever the fuck the CW had.
Yep.
So Gossip Girl was one of the shows. It was Gossip Girl, Smallville, Supernatural,
Yep.
and then they also had like I think at that point like Friday Night SmackDown too. But yeah, so if I remember correctly, Gossip Girl used to bounce between either Monday or Wednesdays at 8 a.m. The prime I used to watch that every fucking time.
Yep.
I was invested. So seeing the guy who's in You, I'm like watching him like I ain't gonna hold you. I think he does a very great job in this role. But no. That shit gives me the ick in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree with you. I feel like it's such an interesting show. It was the first show that I actually started to hate watch, and I was like, so this is why people do it. And I feel like there needs to be a level of like, I don't like this character, I don't like what they're doing, but I enjoy everything else that's going on. And there has to be a certain level where you can like separate yourself from watching it and engaging with it. And I'm like, I'm doing this critically. But then after season 3, I was like, actually, y'all don't know what you're doing with this story.
No, because like I feel like, and I know this sounds really weird, but we're talking about shows where like you hear the dialogue of the main character or the main character's narrating. A lot of times I do enjoy those kind of spaces because you're finally getting in the head of the character themselves instead of like select episode moments. You're getting in the head of them. You're hearing them. Like Burn Notice does that. Fucking love that show. Dexter does that. Love that show. I'm good. I don't want to be in the head of a stalker. I'm good.
Yeah.
And then you change who you stalk? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He can never be satisfied. It's always like a new target.
You're telling me you were in season 1, you were obsessed with this motherfucker. Now in a whole nother season, you're in a whole nother country, obsessed with a whole new person? Fuck out of here.
Right. Yeah, it only got worse. So
I'm so good.
There was one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is the fact that there's going to be a live action Teen Titans movie, which I'm excited about and hopeful for because I feel like James Gunn, he has a vision for DC, and I want to just like be like, you know what? They gave him the job. Let's at least see what he does. You know.
All right. So
you know what I mean?
Can I be rude with y'all for like 5 seconds?
Sure.
I have beliefs. I have faith in James Gunn. Right?
Okay.
James Gunn gave us some really dope ass. Like if I remember correctly, he did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna hold you. For a hot minute, they were like, when it came to like funnier superhero movies or movies that were able to do a really good job storytelling, yeah, they were like my second favorite. Like I think it was Thor, then it'd be those movies directly under it. Or depending on what Thor movie. The second one doesn't exist. Well, you tell me, what was it, Dark Elf? I think it was Dark Earth something. It was Dark something.
Dark World.
It was fucking ass. That shit was like everybody was hating on She-Hulk. I was hating on that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Guardians of the Galaxy are really great, right? So I'm very excited to see what he comes up with. But right now, I'm gonna say this: DC live action movies have kind of been garbage. Like, if you want to have a good story from a DC like thing that's not like cartoon video game, it's just cartoon. The animated movies, they've already built an animated like movie universe. That's pretty fire, I have to say. There you go, right there. But until he does his thing, I'ma just kind of sit my ass back and hope for the best.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I agree with you. And all I'm hoping for is just like a really strong movie. Just something good, something substantial.
I'm hoping for Black Starfire. That's something I'm hoping for. I'm gonna be so rude with you. I'm gonna be so rude. I can't.
Listen, if y'all have to call Anna Doip again so she can revive the role, I'm fine with that.
Please do. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you. I hate the live action series Titan with a fucking passion. Like I
like the show.
Not my cup of tea. I will always say this. I have respect for anybody who can watch that shit. I just have to be one of them. The only thing that would make me watch that series was Starfire. That was it. I would glance like people like did clips and she was in it. I watched. Outside of that, I'm gone.
To be honest, the Titans show felt more like a soap opera and less like a comic book show. Doom Patrol was definitely better, but
oh yeah, no, most definitely. But also that's mostly all fucking. If you get into the meat and potatoes, like all superheroes are, is like big drama with powers. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Most of these motherfuckers are all whores. Like comic book superheroes. Everybody fucking everybody. Everybody got baby mama drama. Everybody got somebody pregnant from another galaxy. It's something wild going on. Right. It's like Young and the Restless, except for motherfuckers got superpowers. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it. Yeah, I need more drama. I need more clutch pearls moments in my superhero TV shows. They need to do better on that.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, you're right. But I'm just trying to be hopeful with this news. You know, hopefully he'll bring us something good. I think it'll be great. There was one last thing I did want to talk about because I just randomly saw this on TikTok. There's this TikToker by the name of Ray Sean. I think that's her name. And she does like these like pop culture deep dives. And she recently did one about Jennifer Lopez, talking about how like she's kind of like taken a downward turn in her career as like she's continued to be like a pop singer and like an actress and everything like that. And with her newest documentary and album, This Is Me Now, she kept in the documentary that so many people said no to being in the documentary and like turned it down. And she in her mind thought, oh well, when this documentary comes out, this album comes out, it's gonna do so well and people are gonna love it, it's gonna be so successful that they're gonna feel stupid. But now, because it hasn't been doing well and hasn't been well reviewed, it seems like the people who said no were right. And it's this weird thing of like, you know, you started out so well with a career that was so promising, even though girl, you were not singing those songs, just Shanti was, okay? Even though you were Jenny for the Block, like, were you really? And now we're here. Can I be so rude with you right now? Can I be so rude with you? And like, this is like, I know this is about to sound very wild, and like, I know it's about to like what the fuck is this? Just keep up with me for a second, right? Keep up with me, because like, there's another person who has a very similar career that like, as the bullshit is popping, you can see. They're going back to what originally worked for them. Yeah, Justin Timberlake, right? Right. Like I need you to understand this. Justin Timberlake's debut album still one of my top bangers. Like that that entire album got nothing but hits on it. I still believe that. But if you go back and listen to like their later albums of like other things, they still got some good songs, but it's not working as well as it used to for them. It's not what it's like. Also, we're not going to talk about her entire just movie career and how that was ass. But they're going back to work with them. They're going back to the market that helped them out the most, right? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of hard to go back when we all know you really can't sing for real. And like, didn't she do like didn't she like try to do a cover song for a Whitney Houston song? Like, did she try to cover a Whitney Houston song? Oh, yes, she did. And I want to say, whoever chose Jennifer Lopez of all people, I want to meet you outside. I'm telling you right now. Real quick. No, I'm going to jump you. That's all. I'm going to jump you. I'm going to fight you. If you come outside, you will be met with violence. Okay.
Like,
Jennifer Lopez?
It was bad. It was so bad.
What?
Right. Once again,
what song in her discography matches up with Whitney Houston on any level?
Not a single one. Not a single one.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Like, bro, it was. Here we are. That's all I got for you. Here we are.
Also, apparently there was a song that Jennifer Lopez won on her album and Meghan Trainor demoed, and there are parts of the song where you can hear Meghan Trainor's voice still, and then you hear Jennifer Lopez's voice cut into the song. Like, they didn't even re-record it. They just had Jennifer Lopez sing certain parts of the song and left Meghan Trainor's voice in there. She's lazy.
It's not like y'all hiding that she's ass.
No.
Y'all not even hiding the fact that she ass. Like, I just want to know who was in the studio smoking dick. Because, like, somebody had to see that and listen to that. Like, yeah, it's so good. Run it. Run that shit, man. Like, who the fuck? Bro.
It's funny to me because Ayo literally went to SNL and she made a joke about it. But, like, Jennifer did an interview and Miss Lopez said, like, oh, people have said that my whole career, it doesn't bother me, it doesn't faze me. Because, like, how could you defend that when we have all the evidence that this has happened? So, of course, you can't be offended by it. Because what could you say in your defense, girl?
I mean, like, even if you were even if we were offended by it, be better then, motherfucker.
Yeah. Take some classes, girl, dang.
Like you have enough money. I think that's the other thing. She's had enough money where she's been like, oh, I am that good. You believe your own hype for like a little too long, ma'am. I mean, you can stop.
All this money, all this time. She's a great dancer, but
and that's about it.
Yeah,
that's about it. Like
I feel like with movies, like
you can't act, you can't sing. You look dusty. Like it's
nice. That's one.
I had to like you look dusty. Like I had to stop. That was mean.
You had to do a third one just to like clean it up, wrap it up. I'm not gonna lie, her older films like The Wedding Planner, Monster-in-Law, like I enjoy those movies, but I feel like there's a nostalgia attached to it because when you watch her more recent films, like I don't know if this is the one she had with Josh Duhamel where she got married on an island and the island got attacked and now they're like fighting the people on the island. I saw the trailer and I was like, see, this is not what Amazon should be spending their money on.
Yeah, no, but she's also like you do these really garbage ass movies and you also complain funny enough that too many people are trying to watch superhero movies and too many people just want cinematic universes. Man, your movies are ass. Stop blaming it on fucking superheroes. Blame it on your acting skills. Blame it on the performance you're doing.
Blame it on your agent.
Your training coach, your agent. There's so many people you can blame before you get to any superhero. Like, how about we just stop being ass? 5 seconds. That's all I'm asking. 5 seconds to stop being ass, and I'll give you a compliment. Can't do it. That's all I thought. Anyway.
I have a very strong feeling that a lot of the actors who like have a lot to say about Marvel just didn't get a call back from Kevin Feige.
Dude, I forgot the woman. She's like one of the lead actors for Fast and the Furious.
Michelle Rodriguez?
I think so. She's the one who's always like next to Vin Diesel hopping out of cars and shit.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. She also went like, oh, people are starting to watch the cinematic universes about Ma'am, you're in the cinematic universe about cars. Y'all motherfuckers just jumped, like just tossed a car in outer space, like not even like 2 movies ago. Shut the fuck, like, come on now. You know, y'all know what y'all up to. Y'all know y'all putting out bullshit ass dad movies. All right, tone it down, motherfucker. Like. We really expose y'all. Like we being nice by letting this bullshit ride.
None of you guys are in auteur indie films. Like, can we be so serious? Like
when's the last time we saw you in a movie outside of fucking Fast and the Furious?
You know, I mean, she was in Widows, but even that isn't an indie film. Like. If I see you in only blockbusters and you're upset because you can't get into another blockbuster, is that my problem?
Yeah, like even Vin Diesel know what time it is. He's like, I'm all about family, and he does his business. You used to do the same.
Honestly, all he does is rack up his money and just live his life.
Yeah,
you know,
racks up money, put out bullshit video games. You know. Yeah, that Fast and Furious video game was dog shit, by the way. I know I'm years late on the review. Here's the review. It was terrible. I'm
not even surprised that there's a Fast and Furious video game.
Yeah, like there has been like, which was kind of bad because like most of the time, like the last Vin Diesel video game that he was attached to was like the Torque series, not Torque. It was I think it was Tarkov. Whatever movie his main character is like actually like blind. Those games were phenomenal. Everyone's kind of surprised that this was bad, but you know,
it happens.
It happens. It really does.
Yeah. And for Justin Timberlake, I just want to say, sir, don't make that. When he went on SNL with Toby to promote his new 2020 Experience song, I was just sitting there watching that, and I was like, this is not good.
Once again, so I don't know exactly how like on the nose I can get on the podcast because I have the answer. It's still
go back ahead. To the same answer. Yeah.
All right, bet. So boom. I love this kind of conversation because this is one of those things I'm like, I've been here waiting. When it comes to Justin Timberlake and fucking Jennifer Lopez, they realized that like when they started careers, a lot of like performers, actors, a lot of these people do this. They always try to focus their attention towards the black dollar, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why Justin Timberlake's like I think like what first 2 albums or like he did his first album with Justin Timberlake. Who was the
Timberland?
Yeah, he did it with Timberland. His first album was Timberland. That's why I personally reason why that was so amazing. Mm-hmm. And he did like a few more songs with Timberland as well that also did very amazing. Mm-hmm. The moment you try to like push yourself away from the black audience, you start seeing a lot of times these actors, these performers, whatever the case may be, you start seeing a lot of their shit not do too well because you're trying to like oh, I'm a changed person, but the music you're putting out is actually ass. Mm-hmm. Same thing that happened with her. That is her literal career. You got Jenny in the Block and all this other shit. And the moment she tried to like do all this other shit or try to be like, oh no, I'm actually a very serious performer, where you were still being serious then, but you had people who were actually there to like help you out. Now that you're on your own, you're flying with your new wings. You realize your wings are made out of wax and they're you're falling,
not wax. Okay, like, I said the sun, Icarus. Okay, I wanted to say just real quick, his new album is called Selfish, and his album, I think one of his songs is nominated for an NAACP Image Award.
What?
Yeah. I don't know if this is like for real. I have to look into this a little further, but like I looked up Justin Timberlake and I saw NAACP award, so now I have to literally Google Justin Timberlake NAACP award. Hopefully it's not actually. Okay, hold on, because that is, I don't want to say this is like, I don't think this is funny. I think this is actually very strange. Like, why Justin Timberlake? Also, do you remember when Jack Harlow got nominated for a BET award?
Hold on, Jack Harlow got nominated for a BET award?
Yes.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
That very much happened.
We are playing this game for the shits and the giggles, because what the fuck is going on here?
Okay, so turns out he won it in 2015. I don't know why I randomly just saw that when I googled his name. Oh wait, he's on the ICU remix with Coco Jones. That's what's nominated for NAACP award. Okay, now we get it. Now we have the context.
Okay, that gives me a lot more context. I ain't gonna hold you. I was in this motherfucker looking real confused. I was like, yeah. The fuck he got going on out here?
Yeah, I personally feel like with musicians or actors who've had long-standing careers, at some point I really need you to pivot. I need you to shift. I need you to do something else. I need you to try a new avenue, or at least just hang it up for a while. You know, take a break. There's nothing wrong with that, because if you keep pumping out these albums that are not good and not worth streaming, but excuse me, you keep getting put on like playlists and you keep getting streamed simply based off your name recognition and not off of any kind of talent, then like you're kind of just wasting everyone's time here. Yeah.
And like normally I don't believe using word washed up because like you know a lot of times a lot of these people don't even consider actually washed up. They're no longer in the limelight. Their time has passed. A lot of them understand that. They still have a fan base. They're still gonna make their music. They're still gonna make their money. But like when motherfuckers who are actively trying their hardest be like, no, I'm like no, dog, like you're kind of garbage. Not saying that it's Justin Timberlake, but it's like, bro, let it rest. You good. You still making your money. You're still doing your shit.
Right. I fully believe that like there might be a time for a shift, you know, just for the both of them, just for their own sake. Because if I was working on a documentary based off my long-standing career as a musician, and I would not reveal all the people that said no to me, I would keep that close to my chest.
Oh, she revealed how many people said no?
She talked about who said no in the documentary. She listed names. Yes. Yes, that's what she did.
That's childish as fuck. That's childish as fuck, bro. Like you really, well, you know, so and so said no to me because you suck.
I wonder why. I wonder why they said no. I wonder why.
Like now, I really do hope whatever you did fail.
I mean, you have Fat Joe pretending to be your therapist. How are we supposed to take this seriously?
No, that's an actual movie. That's an actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The moment I saw that shit, I was like, bro, wrap it the fuck up. Like,
okay.
Not Mr. Lean back. Lean back. Nah, fuck out of here, bro. Okay. Ain't no fucking way in hell.
We have to wrap this up. Okay, guys.
We haven't even talked about the actual anime.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to Media Mania. We're going to jump right into our discussion of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a very popular anime that dropped just... Season 1 was 2022, right?
I want to say, yeah. I can't give you a direct answer on that one.
I actually have it in my notes.
When it dropped and when I watched it was two different things.
Yeah, I think the show... I mean, the manga series started in 2018. And... Hold on, because now I actually have to Google this. No, wait, I have it up in front of me. The anime... Give me 1 second. First dropped... Yeah, in 2021. Actually. Did it? Oh my gosh. Let me...
like did it? I cannot give you the answer for that.
Listen, editing. 2020. Okay, it dropped in 2020. Okay, all right, there we go.
So like it's about like 4 years old now. Like then when that motherfucker, like I ain't gonna lie to you, like legit after this is over, I'm literally gonna reinstate my fucking Shonen Jump app just so I can just go ahead and catch up with the actual manga itself, and I'm gonna do the same thing for My Hero Academia because I'm already deep in the manga on that one. I just need to.
I actually just started watching like My Hero Academia. I'm literally on episode 2. Like I just started watching it. I also started watching Bleach too. So I'm just. Why'd you do that?
All right, okay. Here's my thing. And it's not even like
no.
It's not a knock on Bleach. I do not have an actual problem with Bleach. Bleach is actually hard than a motherfucker. I just hate like. I feel like newer animes kind of spoil me a little bit. Like we don't have a lot of series with a lot of filler, right? Like there's a lot more shows that have a lot more like, okay, here's the story, we get here to here, and I enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
Bleach has a whole season that is just filler. But also, once again, that was like that shit came out early, like mid 2000s, 2010s type shit. That was in that spacing, so that was a lot of that because of technology at the time. So I get it. Bleach is still hard though. I ain't gonna lie to you. So yeah, watch it. The show still and the fight scenes when the fight scenes be fight scening hard than a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of season 1 of Bleach, so I'm enjoying it. Honestly, watching JJK is what made me get really into like just shonen anime, because after watching JJK, I was like, oh, this is.
Here's the problem with that though.
What?
JJK, when it comes to like a shonen, in my personal opinion, it does a really good job at being a very great shonen, right? Like, I think this is like what, not even like I think the second episode of season 1. I'm terrible with actual names, but the main character, when he's like goes inside, is like, oh, but he's like, hey, if you win this fight, I'll just give you my powers, let you rock out. But if you lose, we gotta cut a deal. It's like, all right, man, I ain't afraid of you. Wham! Not even like, dude, even get him out of his chair, just wham! Like it kills that idea that, oh, this is the chosen one. This is like this super amazing dude. He's like, nah, this is just a guy who like got a little more powers than others. He has a can-do spirit on how he's gonna die. That's kind of about it for him. And they do a great job at that just by itself.
I'd say I love. You're talking about Yuji and Sakuna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy Yuji because you are right. He does seem very different from other anime protagonists from what I've heard. Because most other anime protagonists are more like Gojo, where they are like powerful, unstoppable, unbeatable. And then everyone else kind of like in their circle is like, you know, kind of like rounds that character. And Yuji's very different as a protagonist because he is just an ordinary high school kid who obviously had cursed energy, but he didn't know what it was prior. And now that he's like eaten Sakuna's finger and he's able to be like the vessel for Sakuna, he's kind of become this interesting protagonist that's very different from other ones. And you know, Yuji now has to go to Jujutsu High to learn how to be a Jujutsu sorcerer. And me personally, I remember when I first started watching it, I'm not gonna lie, when he ate that finger, I was like,
you nasty motherfucker. yeah.
Put that away.
We all had that exact same response. You nasty bitch. Because like, bro, I can understand it wasn't like a small finger either. It was a long ass finger with an even longer nail. Like, bro, he's just, that shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because like, my goofy ass decided I was going to start, like, I just finished Demon Slayer, the most recent season of Demon Slayer, when I decided to catch back up on Jujutsu Kaisen. First of all, don't do that to yourself.
What?
Don't do that to yourself.
Listen,
you deserve so much better, baby.
Listen, I actually watched Jujutsu Kaisen and then rewatched Demon Slayer because I started season 1 and I stopped watching the middle season 1 and I went back to the beginning and watched it all the way through. Listen
when I tell you this. If you need somebody to talk about Demon Slayer with, hit me back up. I got you. That's one of my favorite animes right now. Now. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah. You need somebody to talk about, let me know, okay?
I will, because season 5 is coming out in May, so I'm excited, but I'm scared. I'm scared.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, they already said get ready because shit's about to get weird.
Yeah.
Like, shit's already been weird. You're telling me it's gonna get worse? Fuck me. All right, cool.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like with JJK, it's such an interesting show because obviously there isn't a shortage of animes where like kids are super powerful sorcerers and the adults rely on them to fix the world's problems, but do not look at them as adults but still treat them like children, even though they are the agents of change in that, you know, world. This
one definitely feels more like, nah, these are kids. Like, they're literally in the space where like the villains are very much outgunning them. Like the villains are literally outmanning them. They like a lot of these fights is very like on from a few like there are definitely fights you could tell like you can see how hard this kid has trained. You can see how much this kid has learned. Like, so this is why they're winning. But a lot of times they're like, oh, that's like God swatting. Like, that's like watching God smack a fly. Like, sometimes you're like, yo.
Sometimes those fights are just like so intense. You're like, how are y'all getting up? what's going on here? Like, when Megumi gets, like, literally yeeted across the town by Sukuna, I'm like...
Yeah, look, all of season 2 fights really had me stressed. All of season 2 fights actually had me stressed.
Because season 2 is literally just happening, majority of it is happening just over one night. Like, yeah, it's literally just like...
night span. Like, motherfuckers coming back from the dead. Like, technically not even coming back from dead. A man's soul overpowers another man's soul in his own body.
Yeah.
It went, I just want to fight shit. And just start beating at, like, bro. Yoked up Graham. That's kind of for the good. Done broke into somebody else's domain. Like, imagine someone breaking in your house and beating your ass. Like, that's basically like, you're in the middle of defending your home from other people who are trying to escape. This man jumps through and went, I'm not even gonna wipe my feet off. I'm sorry, beating your ass. Like, he literally dog walked this man.
Yeah.
It is like, this man, like, okay, this is like the hardest shit I've ever seen. This man took someone else's weapons made to like homemade shivs just to start stabbing a motherfucker with them. And after that fight, he went, who wants next? What the fuck you mean, who wants next?
Right. That whole fight was so funny, but what's even more funny to me is that, like, you told me off the mic that you haven't watched the JJK movie, and the fact that you haven't seen the movie doesn't mean, like, you don't really understand, like, who Fushiguro is, like, the senior Fushiguro.
Yeah.
But have you read the manga?
I've read a little bit of manga. I haven't read through a lot of it.
Okay, well...
But once again, I'm telling you now, you could spoil all this shit for me. I'm going to act to forget about it.
Okay.
Like, it might pop up like, oh, that makes sense. But the rest of the time, I'll be like, whatever.
Okay, well, the ironic thing is that in the JJK movie, Fushiguro is basically like... he is this almost agent of chaos, so to speak. In the film, it focuses on Getu and Gojo when they're young, and also focuses on... I forget her name. I think it's Shoko. She plays the doctor who's like, she's a doctor at Jujutsu High. The three of them are all friends, but Geto and Gojo are seen as the strongest. The two are a pair, and they have to protect a young girl named Rika. I believe her name's Rika, and she is meant to be a vessel for Tengen. You know, Tengen is like the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. Yeah.
It wasn't like the first half of season 2. Wasn't that right there? So am I missing a good chunk of what happened, or like that's just the
season 2 is kind of like the opener for the movie, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't give out the rest of the.
Yes, actually. Oh my gosh.
Cool.
I hope I'm not getting this mixed up, but I guess you do know, like, with Riko, like, you know, Getu took her to meet Tengen, and then like. She dies because Fushi is there, right? And then
somebody was cosplaying that exact outfit with the bullet scar at a convention I just went to like last weekend. Bro, I swear to God, there's a picture of me right now in an Akatsuki robe floating around the internet. Of me just, because like she was like, hey, I'll take, like, hey, you mind if I take a picture of you shooting me? I'm like, what the fuck? Sure, I guess. I don't know, but there's a picture on somebody's social media, right? I never got her shit, but there's a picture of me right now in the Kotsky robe, just gun to head. It's.
I actually remember seeing your story about that convention. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that was like fun. Which one were you at, by the way?
It was a small convention called Bonsai Con.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
I was in my head, I was like, what convention is happening this weekend that I don't know about? What?
No, it's literally one of those smaller conventions that I feel like if they put more time in, it could be a nice sized convention. They just actually not put time into it. We'll find out next year.
Right, of course. Yeah. It's just crazy for me to see, like, Fushiguro there when he literally comes out of nowhere in season 2, and I'm like, this man, why is he here? What is happening? Because
even
like Megumi,
I didn't think you have to worry about him again. I didn't think you have to worry about him.
I like it's crazy to be watching season 2 and to see Maki, Nanami, Megumi, and then the other guy, I don't remember his name, fighting this like cursed spirit, and then his dad shows up.
Wait, he didn't even know that was his dad, bro.
Nope.
Bro, it was that whole fight, and then like watching those two fight, and you see at that moment, like you knew his father was powerful. The first time he fought Gojo, before Gojo kind of went, "Hey guys, you want to see a magic trick?" and just took out half his body. Like, you see exactly how powerful this man is. You see the problems he's causing for motherfuckers, and you know for a fact if he didn't decide to do himself dirty, that boy would have got his ass whooped. That man had not a single fighting chance in hell. Your rabbits getting knocked the fuck out of left and right. You are barely skating with your life. That motherfucker right there, only reason that fight stopped, he's like, oh, hey.
You part of the Zenin clan?
Yeah, and just wham. I was like, first of all, I need you to understand this. I watched this entire series while I was at work.
What?
I was like, we had some slow nights going on. I would burn through an episode, and I'm in this bitch like, yo, what the fuck? And they were like, you good? I'm like, yeah. We got anything yet? No. All right, back to my show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was great. I don't regret a thing. 10 out of 10 we'll do again.
Yeah. You know what? I feel you on that. Me, like, I remember first watching the show and just being kind of like taken aback by, of course, season 1 is full of like a lot of fights and like just the establishing of the universe. And I was so immersed in it. And I was like, these kids are going through hell and high water. You know, like even in the games they are doing against each other, when all the cursed spirits come out and start fighting them as well, I'm like, this is
it's no longer a game. Like,
this is not fun anymore. This is not fun.
I made a video about this before. I did this recently because whoever is doing the marketing, whoever's doing the artwork for the marketing, I need y'all to understand from the bottom of my fucking heart, I hate you. I hate you so much because every fucking time you think we would learn from season 1 when they made this super lighthearted, happy-go-lucky little art style of all the characters getting along. I think they were like eating lunch or some shit like that. Like, so it made it seem like it was gonna be some weird little slice of life shit going on, and that wasn't the case at all. Like, they just it was foul. Then they did that shit the exact same thing again with season 2 to make it seem like, oh, it's those little slice of life, little dance parties. Like they're all on like the ocean, just kind of enjoying themselves. I'm like, you You're not gonna pull out my heart again.
I hate the end credits scene so much of season 1. Like, you're literally watching Yuji telling like Megumi, you need to run and find Nabura and like get out of here so I can release Sukuna and you do not die. And then it's like, lost in paradise. It's like,
okay, my question is, why the fuck did that outro song slap so hard just after the most traumatic shit you would watch? they intentionally do that shit, like, cause like that was like also season 2 ending slaps hard to the motherfucker. Just party time. We just watched a man lose his arm. We watched one man get turned into fucking just barbecue, and somebody else's eyeballs missing. Like, and y'all just pulled up the most happiest go lucky songs you could find. Fuck y'all.
I have to say, I love Specials. I love that song so much. Every single time it plays in the opening of season 2, I watch the full thing all the way through. Because when they get to the point where like Yuji, it takes control of his body again, and he's just looking at what happened, and he's just crying. I'm like, dang, I can't do this.
Bro,
I can't do this. I can't do this.
That shit hit me hard. That shit hit me so hard.
Yeah.
You just watch. He's like, yeah. We're gonna time this out right, so we like get the most full effect of Yuji being like really just in his like. You just see motherfuckers dead. You see half the fucking city just leveled, and you're just. You are my special. You're right. Oh,
it's a tough. It's not a fun watch. Like season 1 wasn't a fun watch, but season 2 was truly just like
at least like they did something towards the end. It was like, oh yeah, here's some baseball episodes, like, something,
Yeah.
something to lighten the mood. Season 2, there was no lightened mood. Like the best
Except when
way
like Nanami was pretending to be at a beach when he was literally slaughtering all those mutated humans.
bro, that was not a positive moment. That was more depressing than anything else. Like, bro, at that point, you gotta remember half his body is cooked extra crunchy. You feel me? Like, it's like we can't even say like prime example. One of my favorite donuts, Rengoku. One of my I feel like we gotta call this man like what, barbecue, like quickest barbecue recipes. This guy, like, it's so fucked. He's talking about retirement. He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go do this after this. I'm gonna go do that. His brain is still trying to cope with the fact that he's not about to last long. Like, I was like, in that motherfucker, I was just heartbroken and hurting.
It's a tough show to watch, but I always enjoy shows that are not scared to, be realistic. Like, if you have a couple of characters who are killing and going after like cursed spirits or any kind of magical creature and any kind that has like the power to kill and demolish human beings, your favorite character may die. They may die.
Like, you have to understand, this is like an actual job, a very dangerous job where people lose their lives.
Yes,
you feel me? And I feel like this is another nerve thing. I feel like between the latest season, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I feel like the latest season of My Hero Academia and this right here, there gives me very strong Empire Strike Back vibes. You feel me? Like, it's like, your heroes are now in a corner. What the fuck are they going to do? What's really going to make that, like, you now get a chance to see what makes a hero shine. Like, seeing a hero, they're always winning, everything is going great, that's cool, that's one thing. But seeing a hero that you've seen how great of a hero they can actually be, what happens when everything is snatched from them? Right? Like, what happens when, like, that hero, that all the praise and the joy and all the accolades, what happens when a motherfucker really gets grabbed by life? You feel me? And I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next season of this shit.
Yeah, and I do want to talk about Yuji Itadori, because I'm curious, just for you, because you're someone who you've watched a lot more anime than I have, so you may have a lot more of things to say. But how do you feel Yuji compares to other anime protagonists, especially in like the shonen era, and especially to like other characters that are similar to him?
So, okay, the biggest comparison I've ever seen people say, and like, it's kind of obvious and I kind of hate it. The entire, at least the team arc from teacher to the 3 people that work with, it reminds me heavily of Naruto, right? They both got this jackass of a demon or whatever the fuck in their gut. They have one motherfucker who has not blonde hair, like a pinkish hair. We have one motherfucker who's a breeding little asshole. Like, you have a teacher or chaperone in their case with white hair, right? But I feel like if we want to compare, I feel like that's where the comparison stops itself, because once again, like I've said, like, if you compare them to every, like, damn near every other anime you've seen, like especially big shonens, he doesn't feel like, oh, he's this chosen one, oh, he's this special guy. He feels like a dude that has like a very strong system of right and wrong. He has a very strong morality system.
Yeah.
And so because of that, he's willing to go that extra mile because his morality is so strong, and because he believes in fighting for his right and fighting for his friends and shit of that nature. But the show asks you, unlike a lot of other like shonen base, how far are you willing to go for your belief? Like, you believe this is right, this is wrong. How far are you willing to go for it? What are you willing to do to make that a reality? And even I think like at the end of the season when he's fighting, I don't remember the guy's name, the patchy face motherfucker.
Mahito?
Yeah. When he's fighting him, and you see that he's like, hey, look, this right or wrong shit right now don't matter. I see you again, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You come back in another form, I'm gonna beat the shit out of that form. If I die and come back and see your bitch ass, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, that was one of the hardest scenes. He's like, I'm gonna beat, like, no matter what happens in life, I'm going to be the one to stomp your ass out. And you're like, wow, He said that with his entire soul. Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. But also, that I'm more mad they gave us a time skip, but we don't know how long the time skip was. And there leaves so many questions that need to be answered because of the time skip at the ending.
Oh yeah, between season 1 and season 2, we're like,
oh no, from season 2 to season 3, like the ending of like the end report of what happened. He's like, so yeah, this person's in jail. This person's in jail. This man is kind of fucking dead right now, and is the main guy's fault. Like, what the fuck do you mean by that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's frustrating to see it because throughout the whole show, even with like Satoru Gojo, he talks about how he wants to kill all the higher ups, but he can't because they'll just be replaced by people who withhold the same system. How he's been alone all of his life because he's had to be the strongest sorcerer, and he hasn't had anyone to relate to or talk to, so he's isolated himself for so long. So now he's trying to like foster this kind of alliance with all these other sorcerers so they all can rely on each other to be there for one another, so they don't feel alone and they don't feel stifled by the system that these sorcerers have to be in place because they have to fight these cursed spirits. The public doesn't know about the cursed spirits. The high school and the system that the high school works within wants to get rid of these cursed spirits but don't want to train people on how to fight these cursed spirits, and normal people are scared of people who can utilize cursed energy. And so there's this whole thing going on within their country, and now because there's been like a hole blown in the main city, they're like, well, now we have to either tell people that they're cursed spirits, or we have to teach them, or we have to do something else. We have to figure something else out because this has been a secret, been held for so long, and if people find out about it, the rest of the world will find out about it, and then what do we do about that? And now,
yeah, I think that was like one of my favorite like actual questions that was being asked in the show, and they explained very well why, because it like in the world itself it works. Like, so you're telling me, oh, Japan has this unknown extra source power. Don't you think other countries get very fearful of us, especially if those countries are very militarized? The way they hit America on the fucking head on that one was fucking wild, by the way. They just said, hey, if they find out that we got shit that they can't touch, we're not gonna last long, baby.
No.
That was a wildest shit. They did a very, which also I feel like another anime that does a very good job at that is also My Hero Academia, which once again, once you catch up, let me know. They just they're doing a great job explaining the world on why it feels so isolated.
Yes.
You know? And I think that's very cool too.
Yeah. And I feel like with the ending of season 2, I understand why they did the exposition route when it comes to like wrapping everything up, because they spent so much time in like this battle, in this like melee with like all these characters and all these spirits. So like you have to realize like what is the real world consequence of everything that's going on, because because when it comes to like her spirits, it has affected other people, like in season 1 it did, but it's easy to chalk that up to legend, chalk that up to rumor and just curses, and something that is just like myth and not really real. And there are so many isolated incidents that's not something that really has to concern people. And now we've gotten to the point where it's happened in a huge metropolitan area and like a busy train station where people are going to wonder like, what happened to my loved one when they're supposed to get on the train and they didn't get off? What happened to that building? Why is there a giant hole in the middle of the city? What's going on?
They really went like, hey buddy, you gotta find out. And so like that's why I know for a fact I'm gonna read the manga, because one thing about me, I can't wait anymore. Right, like back in the day I was able like, okay, cool, I'll catch it when it comes out type shit, right? But now, especially when the stakes are so high, the information is so juicy, the detail is so just there, and also like the Shonen Jump app's like $2.99 a month. It's kind of hard not to like want to read it.
Right. Me personally, because I had found out that the Culling Game is the next arc for season 3, I want to like just wait for it to come to Crunchyroll, because I already did a little bit of research about what the Culling Game is and like the rules of it and like the new characters that may be introduced in next season, and I'm like, you know what? I I actually have so many things to watch, and reading a manga that's going to stress me out is just not worth it. So y'all got that.
And for me, like, I don't really. Okay, so I think the only thing I'm truly watching right now is a show called Dimension 20. That's kind of like
my. I'm
currently watching. Yeah, I'm currently watching Fantasy High right now. I'm currently watching the most recent season of Fantasy High at the moment. Like, legit, when we stopped, I was just in the middle of watching that shit with my girlfriend. Like, we were literally watching that shit.
I love Fantasy High. I love Dimension 20. I love Dropout. I love Bernally Mulligan. I love Escape from the Blood Keep. I love... I can't believe you just said that. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's like been like my show of choice at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like rest of the time if I'm not doing stuff like this, I'm streaming, I'm making videos, I'm at work, stuff like that. But yeah. So I'm very intrigued to see what's going to happen next.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I do want to talk a little bit about Megumi, because I think he's an interesting character on the show, but I feel like it was... I don't know. I was trying to figure him out. You know what I mean?
Bro, we gotta remember which one's Megumi again, because I know the character you're talking about. I just can't put name to face.
He's the guy with the dark spiky hair.
Yeah. I personally feel like in this series, I feel like in this season, we got more of him in a very positive way. Like, I feel like the first season, it just painted like, oh, I'm a breedy little asshole. Like, it's like, huh. Like, it gave me those kind of vibes off of him, right?
Yeah.
But seeing him, like, actually not only fighting, but also just kind of being more of a person before everything pops the fuck off, I was like, oh, I actually fucks with this character, right? And even seeing him as a kid, it's like, oh, so he's always been like this. This isn't just like a him being a teenager thing. This is just him being him.
Yeah.
And it was really great. And like seeing him like not even like even in the face of basically defeat, he's still like, I'm not gonna make this shit easy for the guy.
Right.
You know, it was very awesome to see that.
Yeah, I think that with Megumi, it's very interesting because he's someone who trained alongside Gojo, and my initial thought was that if you train along the strongest sorcerer, I would assume that you would have some kind of strength. Like, you would have, like, a special skill that, like, not many other people do have. And when Yuji first told him to, like, run, when they first met, like, that cursed spirit that had, like, I guess, like, the essence of sucking his finger, and he ran, I was like, bro, don't leave him alone. He just got here. Like, you've been doing this. Like, why can't you help your man out? You know what I mean? Like, why are we running?
Because
go back.
Because at the end of the day, bro, he's like... Even at the end of the day, you gotta understand, he may have been out here doing all the other. He's still not at that spacing just yet. He's still not. He hasn't been trained up enough for that kind of fight. At least the other guy got the power of like, oh, I have at least one of the energy of a finger inside of me, and I'm able to kind of rock with that power a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, and I actually loved it at the end of season 1 when he did his domain expansion against that cursed spirit, because at that point it's like, you can't die, you know, you have to like put up or shut up, like we can't run this time around, you know, like you were on your last leg. And I think it's very interesting, especially in the baseball scene. In the baseball scene, you kind of like understand each character just by the way they play baseball. Megumi, he literally just putts the ball just so his classmates can get to the next base. He doesn't strike out. He doesn't hit the ball. He doesn't try to hit a home run the same way.
He's like a very big, I'm going to play it safe kind of guy. But it's like, how long, especially when you're having these kind of battles, you're having this kind of job, how long is playing it safe going to work for you, baby? It ain't. Like, you got to be... After a while, you gotta get on that nut up or shut up type shit, because it's
like you really have to exactly. You have to nut up or shut up. You have to like put it out there. You know, like we can't just be half-assing our way through this. Like eventually, the spirits are gonna get stronger and the stakes are gonna get higher. And you already know that so many people who become Jujutsu sorcerers either die or they leave because they can't take it. You're the only people who can fight.
It's terrible.
I don't even know if they get paid. If I'm being
like they're actually getting paid, but for a lot of sorcerers, the pay ain't that good.
Yeah.
And also, you're literally doing the worst kind of job in human history, day in and day out. That's kind of why Gojo's homie fucking left.
Yeah.
You're doing the same job day in, day out, the worst kind of job. There's no kind of thanks. There's no kind of appreciation. And you're at the wire, you're like, what's the fucking point?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I saving motherfuckers who don't even really fuck with us for real?
Mm-hmm.
Like they find out, they get freaked out and try to kill us, but I have to save them. Man, fuck that. Why don't we just have the people who can see the shit and everybody else kick rocks?
Mm-hmm. Right. I
feel like once again, this is... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, once again, the system itself is the reason why they have the villains they have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, none of this would be happening if the higher ups, those who are in power, would actually have been trying to reach out or try to do something to make this shit easier for their workers. Once again, this is a worker strike issue when you think about it longer than 5 minutes. It's like, hey, let's actually give these motherfuckers the things they need. Let's take them to therapy. Let's pay for this. Let's get a lot of more of an actual system going on to make sure those who are doing this very dangerous, very terrible job are being treated correctly.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
just like most major companies, it ain't fucking happening.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And it sucks because you're right. These kids have the worst job. And the same thing with Gojo. Like, he literally had to eat cursed spirits. Like, that's his power. Like, that's what he does. That's his cursed skill.
Yeah.
And you can only do that for so long. You know?
Yeah, I think the little monologue he gave when he was explaining how terrible the shit tastes.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, what the fuck? Until I realized, no, he's eating them. He's absorbing the shits. That's why that's another reason why it drove him so fucking mad. Because he's eating this. A lot of other sorcerers aren't doing that. They're just killing them, call it a day. This man has him absorb this shit. He tastes every single foul, disgusting thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with you, and I feel like Megumi is similar to Gojo, except the fact that, like, at least Megumi had people, when he was becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer, who, like, were his friends, and, like, he cared about, and he wasn't alone in the way that Gojo was, because after Gojo becomes the strongest sorcerer, he's going on missions by himself, and then Shoko is doing her own thing, and he's on his own eating all these weak spirits. And with Megumi, he didn't want to become a sorcerer. Like, he hates people who think that they are, like, who are bullies. He started fighting people in middle school, becoming a troublemaker himself. And then when his own sister becomes cursed and is alive but won't wake up, he's like, well, I mean, I guess I have to, because I need to figure out what's going on with her. Like, I need to find the guy who did this to her. And after that, he soon realizes that, like, you know, he's a Jujutsu sorcerer. He's not a hero. He's not someone who is, like, meant to be idolized or, like, put on a pedestal. He's just doing what he has to do so that more people don't die. You know what I mean?
But, like, I think the wildest shit that was, like, very fucking interesting was also to find out that I think it's Gojo, correct?
Yeah, Gojo.
That, like, technically he ain't the villain of season 2. Like,
is he not?
Okay, remember, if you saw those little scars,
oh yeah,
yeah.
No, you're right. Right.
The spirit itself is already gone. The body, the vessel, everything. That's all. That's somebody else put that man, like, a whole nother cursed brain in that man's.
Okay,
shit.
So this is why you need to watch the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
like, they explained who he was. And, like, when I heard this shit, I was like, first of all, yo, that's crazy as fuck. Cause, like, that's a wild shit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now knowing that, once again, this is a movie character that ties in directly into, like, that, like, that was important for that. I now gives me more reason to watch the actual, you know, movie itself. Like I said, I might watch that tonight. Yeah.
So the spirit that's inside of Gojo's body is Kenjaku, who is this cursed spirit who was a sorcerer, I believe, and he was, like, awful. He was terrible. He used to implant his brain into sorcerers' bodies, and that was like his curse technique, and he would take their skill. And when he found Gato, essentially like in the movie, Gato has taken up the mantle of the religious society that was trying to take out Rika. Yeah. And
I remember that part.
Yeah, and in the movie, there is basically this new kid, Yuta, who has this cursed spirit that is the spirit of his best friend who died when he was really young. And the friend is like attached to him. So Gojo finds the kid, brings him to Jujutsu High so he can learn how to utilize this energy. And Gato is like utilizing his power, trying to figure out how to become like the antagonist. I'm not really sure, but he has like this group of people, and he decides to like wreak havoc on a metropolitan city while he goes to Jujutsu High to get the spirit that's attached to Yuta. And at the end of the movie, essentially Gato has been defeated by Yuta, and he's on his last leg. It's like it's lights out for him, you know.
And that's how old buddy gets a hold of him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense now. That actually makes a lot of sense. Because, like, when Gojo stopped and saw him, he was like, hey, motherfucker. Like that's what caught him. He was like,
yes.
Ain't you supposed to be dead?
Yes.
Yo, side note. There's a company that, like, has an, like, you know, like, the, like, how your iPhone cases be having, like, different shit or whatever. There's a company that has an iPhone case for this, but it's the brick.
No.
Like, yeah.
I actually
closed up, eyes open, all that shit.
No. I actually couldn't have that in my room because that would be too much. That would be too much for me. I actually can't. Oh my gosh. The way I'm holding out hope for Gojo.
I think if I remember correctly, the main guy, like the writer, I think he said he's not gonna be in season 3.
Yeah, I mean I figured that, you know, like with JJK, the show being that it is, after season 2, I was like, they're not giving us happy endings. They're not giving us, like, you know, they're not making it easy on us. Like, I already watched a video about a guy who's deconstructing, like, the culling arc with the show and how the show could follow up with the culling arc. And he was talking about Nabura and how in the manga, it's never revealed whether or not she's alive or if she's passed on. And she's meant to be, like, the grounding force for Megumi and Yuji. So going into the culling game arc, they've resigned themselves to just being like cogs in the machine. They're like, I'm just gonna kill, and if anything good comes out of it, it comes out of it, but like I cannot do this morality, I can't do this humanity, I can't do this nice shit, I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna play the game, and if I die, I die. If I get out of it, we're just gonna see another day. And Nabura was supposed to be like the grounding humanity for them, because she's just a country girl. She just wants to see the city, and she just so happens to know how to do this.
Like bro, I go, she was personally for me, she was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Just on the back of like, yeah, she's this super girly girl. She's like, oh, shopping and da 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 da. Yeah. But like, don't get it fucked up. She really got hands.
Yes.
Like the little hammer shit, bro. That shit's hard as hell. Yeah. So like, okay, so before season 2 came out, Fortnite did a collab with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got the skins, you got all that, but you also got to use the weapons. Right, so you had the Gojo ability and you had her ability, like that was like active, you can use. When I tell you the way I was out here just dinging motherfuckers for her shit, because like you could hit it one time and it doesn't hit, then also the explosion damage, which is also very true to her fucking powers in the fucking anime. And her fight scenes were hard, all this other shit. So when like the moment you saw old buddy play hot tag with her face, I was like, oh, they already showed her backstory. So, like, even if she's not alive, you saw what happened the moment that fucking the main character saw her face. The moment you like, we didn't see but he saw it.
Yeah,
and you saw what happened directly after that.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? We over here talking this good talk. I'm literally about to like reinstall this shit right now. Like as we're talking, like. Shonen Jump is actively being reinstalled right now. I'm not joking.
I have to say, another thing I love about JJK is all the characters in the show, because they're all very unique in themselves. They're all very funny, and I love Panda. I think he's hilarious. I like the kid that can only say the
Sammy.
ingredients.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Bro,
He's
someone said some shit about him that I still can't get over. It was like, what if he just looked at you one day and said, shit yourself? Like,
don't.
someone just, like, it's a meme of him. Like, what if this man just said, and he's like, he pulled his mouth, caption, shit yourself. I'm like, that's terrifying. That's terrifying.
New fear unlocked.
New
New fear unlocked.
You just mind your business. This is like, yeah, I'm gonna beat his ass. Shit yourself.
Gosh. Okay, but I actually really, really liked Maki, and I do wish that we got to know her a little bit more. You do get to see a lot more of her or understand more of her backstory in the movie, which is great. But I think in the show, we just kind of like see she's just kind of like a secondary character, you know. But she has a very interesting story because you know she left the Zenin clan, and even though she doesn't have cursed energy herself, she still is at Jujutsu High, and she still knows her stuff. Like she can still very much fight. She's still very capable, obviously, and it's rough because like in season 2, a lot of people die, and like when we get like no. I don't know if anyone's been confirmed, but I feel like Maki's dead. That just makes me like, that makes me even more disappointed because she, over everything, wanted to prove her family wrong. And she wanted to say, I am going to be the best Jujutsu sorcerer there ever was and show you guys that you're wrong.
I think, but at that situation, I think they definitely did not show her dying.
Yeah.
You know, but they also didn't show her living. So it's like, we don't know 100%. Like I feel like the characters they want you to know that are dead are definitely dead. Everybody else is up in the air. You feel me?
Yeah. Like, I mean, we already know that like Megumi is alive. Like we already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility that Maki will be alive because I do think that her character continues to show up in the manga, and I think there's like a drastic change and who she is as a person, which I do want to see in the show because I feel like that would be really exciting.
Oh no, most definitely. I believe that 1,000% because I'm just sitting here like I need more. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like tonight, once everything is said and done, because I want you to know and understand. You probably can't see it on the screen, but I did just reinstall it. Like, so like I got some reading to do tonight. You feel me? Oh my
god. Okay, I did want to ask you about Gojo.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. My man Gojo. First things first. Free my man Gojo to his backwards. All
For
right?
real.
I need y'all to understand that, right? I need y'all to understand that. Okay, so there's a dude that's on like TikTok. He's actually everywhere. But he does like anime parodies of shows, and his most recent thing he's been working on has been Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it's Hood Kaisen, I think it is, or some shit like that. My man has done a really great job with that. Just huge shout out to him because he has so many like I don't know if I sent you any of his videos. I feel like if I didn't, I'm sorry. Because I have some saved, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Type shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to, like, we're like, oh, here's a video, like, to the video, like, yeah, because, like, he has one of Gojo, but I feel like Gojo was, if anything can make any comparison, I feel like Gojo was the Flash of the show, right? Like, he was very funny, but he also know how to get his job done. Like, like I feel like he was more like comic book Flash or anything, like because he's very funny. He knows how to get the job done, but like let's not pretend like this man ain't a whole ass threat.
Right.
Like y'all, we can laugh and key with him all day, but for the love of God, don't try to fight him. Like, so I feel like that was the best. The other good thing I feel like that I personally enjoyed about season 2 was like everyone understanding that Gojo is the key. Right, everyone understands that Gojo is the key of the shit. If we don't have Gojo, what the fuck do we have? Right, because like Gojo is the most powerful sorcerer. You get rid of him, everything else is kind of fair game. Right, so they did a really good job at that. They built him up very properly.
Yeah.
Right? So to watch him just get snatched off the fucking board, yo,
It's scary.
it was a terrifying moment.
Yeah.
It was a real terrifying moment because it's like you're watching exactly how calculating this man is. You're watching how it was a beautiful game of chess that was being played, right? Because you watched to see exactly how well they were, like how well the villains were willing to take this shit, right? And because they knew who the fuck they had to take out. They already knew that. And seeing how far they can go. Once the goal was met, they were like, oh, what we do now?
Right. Like, there's nothing stopping them. There's nothing to hold them back, really. And they don't have any reason to hold back because they don't care about the sorcerers. Yeah. They're more than happy to kill them.
And that was the other funny part about it. Like, the adults who were either hired than Gojo or worked under him or like was in that age range of him, they knew for a fact they were fucked. They knew for a fact they were fucked. They were all saying, "He's like, yo, what the fuck do we do now?" Because like you, and this sounds like a villain type tactic. But I understand that you've let yourself grow weak because you knew there was someone stronger than you.
That's true.
Like there was like, what was the guy that was with the panda dude? He was like, I ain't trying to fight for real. I ain't trying to fight. We gonna pretend to look for him until Big Boy figures out I'm just scared. Yeah. Like what was that scene? Like they are whole fighting villains. They're in the middle of fighting villains.
Literally, Sakuna sees them as like, you have 2 seconds before I blow you apart.
He's not even that. He was like, hey, we're gonna play a game.
Right.
Nobody's gonna move until I say so. First motherfucker to move is the first motherfucker to die. And everybody was like, oh, we really bitch made. Like, this man literally, like, he's playing with your life right now. He ain't shit you could do about it.
It's a joke to him. Yeah.
Bro, ain't no fucking way.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Yeah. So yeah, long story short, I feel like they did a great job with Gojo. I personally am in love with that character. You know what I mean? I feel like he love that character.
I also love Gojo, and I loved it when Megan Thee Stallion like cosplayed him because I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about.
I just want to say something real quick. And I know when I say this, I'm looking to the camera. Peoples, I understand. This is a very biased opinion I'm about to say here, but just like seeing black women cosplay as Gojo, I need more of that in my life. Yeah, I was lucky enough to see that at this convention I went to. I follow a few amazing cosplayers who's done it. If I remember correctly, I think the good homie Courtney cosplayed as Gojo. If I remember correctly, I feel like I'm right on that one. Yeah, she did. And once again, super shout out to Courtney. I fucking love her. She's amazing. But that shit, top tier. It's amazing. It's amazing. I need more of it. In my life. Okay, I'm gonna move the mic now.
I just want to say, like, I totally agree with you because when I was younger and I had so many friends of mine that were into anime, and I always felt like maybe that's not for me. Maybe that's not something I should get into. And it was mainly because they were just like guys, mainly black guys who are like into anime, and they're like, oh, girls don't watch anime because like,
man, them corny ass niggas. Them corny ass niggas. Them corny ass, bro. Yeah, bro. Listen, hold on. I just once again, I'm gonna scoot this up. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this little down, and I'm gonna look directly to the camera again. Most of us are in our fucking late 20s, almost pushing 30s, and y'all niggas are still saying this shit. I want you to understand something, big buddy. They ain't the problem, nigga. It's you. It's really you. It ain't like. If you still in your like early 20s, like okay. I want to say early 20s because at that point, like you're like 21, 22, you're still in the space of learning and a lot of things you can still unlearn. If you're 27, like I'm 27 right now, my boy. If you were still talking about ain't no black women like in anime, ain't nobody fuck with me because I'm nerdy, no, buddy, they ain't fuck with you because you musty. All right, you give all strong, scaring the hoes vibes. You feel me? Like. You terrifying me right now. I need you to stop. All right, get your shit together. We getting tired of this shit. We all grown. We grown, and you still talking about the same shit. Get a tape line. Go to this therapist. Stop watching red pill shit. Maybe you find somebody. You feel me?
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
I've been nerdy my whole life, and I've never had a problem with this. My boy, I do fucking Magic the Gathering. Like Commander. Like, I do fighting. Like, I'm a nerdy ass nigga. And this has never stopped a black woman from hollering at me, all right? Also, I have my own, facial routine. I have, like, shower routine. I actually hydrate, I clean myself. I look very presentable. Being emotionally available also helps my nigga. But,
Yeah.
stop blaming black women for the shit that's your problems, all right? You feel me? Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. But 100% agree with what you said. When I was younger, I really wanted to get to anime, and getting into now at my age of 26 is so weird. I kind of feel like I'm having a second puberty, because in discovering like JJK and discovering like Yuji, who is this person who is so kind, and even though he is like, he doesn't want to kill anybody, he's okay with killing cursed spirits. It's hard for him because he wants to give people proper burial, and he wants to like do the right thing. And Gojo, who is someone who's just nonchalant, having fun, but is completely dead serious when he's talking to the principal and saying that you are useless. I could kill you. You being here is simply for the order of things. But quite honestly, if you didn't need to be here, I would have taken you off the board several months ago. And he says that in all seriousness. And I genuinely appreciate that in Gojo, because it has been since birth. There have been assassination attempts. There have been bounties put on his head. He was inducted into the high school just because of his family line. He was born with the 6 eyes and the luminous technique. He is the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer out there. And for most of his life, he's had to deal with that and reckon with that. And it wasn't until he literally kissed death where he truly understood his power and the immense power they had and where it lies. But in doing so, he loses his best friend. He loses his one comrade, the one person he could turn to, the one person he could talk to. And even with like Shoko, who is the Jujutsu High nurse, her being like, you're alone? I've been here the whole time for you. What do you mean? He has fully never really had anyone who has lived life or seen things in the way that he has seen it, because the power that he has is so strong. There is no way for anybody to really and truly relate to him. And now that he's been able to, help these kids become a sensei, become a mentor, but he gets tripped up because he sees his dead friend and gets stuck into the prison realm. It's so relatable to me because I just see someone who is like going hard all the time and cannot stop. And the second you do, it's just like, it's at the worst possible moment. The second,
like, that man has never really like that. You see this character and you're like, oh, you've never really had a real like emotional like real moment, and the time you actually have been able to have it, it's like, damn, it's at the worst time. But then again, like, your ops understood who you are. You know what I mean? They understood that like we need to hit him with everything we have, and including emotional shit. And that was like the biggest thing you could do, was to hit him with a guy that used to be his best friend. Hit him with a guy that like, that was like your one of your bits of humanity that kind of remained type shit. They knew that. They've been planning this shit for fucking forever. So once again, I'm like, damn, they smart as hell for that. They real smart for that.
Yeah. And I'm excited for season 3, but I'm also like sad because Namani is dead. No, I think his name's Namani, something else. I have to check that real quick. But he's gone, and I liked his character. A lot of people felt like his character wasn't well developed, and I feel like there's only so much you can do with certain characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody is the main character in the story, but I feel like the show does a good job of basically, like, fleshing out these characters and who they are.
No, they did a very great job of that. Phenomenal.
Yeah. Are there any of I don't know, any part of the show that you really liked or like you really enjoyed?
All right. So
there was one thing. Toto definitely reminded me of you.
Toto, big dude, swole motherfucker.
Yes.
Extra. I'm mad because I was literally about to talk about him. I was literally about to fucking talk about him. That is by far, like, he said some of the realest shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, first interaction with him, he's like, hey, I didn't know, what's your type of woman?
Oh my god.
What's your type of woman? That's all I need to know. Like one of the most powerful, also one of the most powerful sources they fucking know. All he's caring about, fuck all this extra nice shit. What kind of woman do you long after, my boy?
Oh my gosh, not long after.
He's like, I like a tall woman with a fat ass, and he was like, my brother. Like, what? that was the thing that did it for you. Like, I respect it fully. You
the
feel
most,
me? Like I
so unserious.
Like the most unserious character they have, but also one of the most scariest characters that they have. Like there was two scenes. The moment where him and the main character they're doing this little fucking like the clap, the boogie woogie shit, and gets launched into the fucking fight, and he's just flying at like beyond Mach speed at this point. The world is swirling around him.
The and all boogie woogie shit.
Just for this nigga to clothesline the shit out of somebody, I was like, I like him. But I think the best moment for me is like hand cut off. He's talking to like the villain. He's like, I got another trick for you. And he claps. He just claps the nub at this point. You know that had to hurt. But he did all that just like, psych, my bad. And just long enough so his brother could beat this man's ass. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Best scene.
I love how every single time they're like, we're about to go into battle, he's like, listen, my show's about to come on. This shit better wrap up in 20 minutes. I'm not kidding.
Listen, okay, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Another reason why I like him, because like, so, okay. So back in the day when I was younger, I used to fight a lot, right?
Okay.
But I also got very limited time on how often I could play certain games, in the house. Like I think like on like weekdays, you're gonna play like 1 hour a day, tops. A lot of times I didn't do it, but a lot of times I did. But I was just play Assassin's Creed hard as hell. Some kids knocked on my door because they were doing like the whole ding dong dit shit or whatever. And I'm like, hey, look, y'all are interrupting my gaming time. So either you gonna come in and run my fade now, or I'm gonna go back in this house. Because I swear to God, the next time I catch you, I'm beating the shit out of you. So like, him saying that immediately made me go, I relate to that. I feel that on a personal level. Because like, why are y'all interrupting my shit? This better be done before my shit come on. Because if it's not, I'm about to beat you extra hard. I'm about to put the boots to you extra medium style because you're interrupting my shit. All right, you raggedy motherfucker.
You saw Toto and you're like, that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that moment when like he said like, oh, what's your type? And I'm like, I fucks with him. I see the vision. I see the vision, my brother.
I can't. I'm not gonna lie. It's season 2 when his locket opened up and we saw the whole sequence. I was like, you know what, Toto, I appreciate you. Toto.
He's a man who lives and dies by the bit. Because like he's cool. In his mind, that idol girlfriend, that boy brother, and I'll squat over anybody for them right now. Like what?
That was actually the most unserious thing I've ever seen. But after like all of the terrible things,
all the shit that's happened in this series, I think I could take that one.
I'll take that.
I feel like, I will gladly take that very unserious moment. Because Lord knows we all need it.
Yeah. I'll take a moment to breathe. I'll accept it. It's fine. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
The last thing I did really want to talk about was Nanami, who, like I said before, he was mentor to Yuji Itadori, and there isn't a lot that we know about Nanami.
I don't really have that much to say about him. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Either way, I found him to be, I mean, obviously he's powerful and very attractive and incredibly dangerous, but I found it interesting who he is, like, as a sorcerer, because he became a jujutsu sorcerer and then he left to just work a normal 9-to-5 job. And he was like, I hate both. Like, both of them suck. But either way, if I get to help people.
Yeah, he was a very simple man who had very simple enjoyments in life. So I was like, I respect it. And he really was about, this is work. What I'm doing now is work. And for season 2, you see him like protect everybody he's protecting and like actually trying to help out and do his part. You see how much he actually does care for these kids, how much he cares for his co-workers in a sense. Like, because at the end of the day, he understands it's a very dangerous job. And like, it does suck that he dies, and it does suck the way that he dies, you know? But it's like, damn. I do wish that was one of the characters. I feel like they gave him the perfect amount of screen time where you got to know him, you got to see what he believes, his stances, and exactly how strong he is. So once again, when he dies, it lets you know two things. It gives you that impact, but it also shows you exactly how strong the villains are, right? They do a very good job. Like, he's strong, and this motherfucker got him. But also it's like, here's why he got him. So it's not like this man was fighting at 100%. This man definitely was already crispy on one half by the time he got to him.
Yeah. And you're right, he did care about his kids. And we see it in the end when he's about to die. He sees Yui Haibara, which was a student that worked alongside him when he was in Jujutsu High. And when he dies, that's when he decides to leave being a Jujutsu sorcerer. And he's like, I'm going to get it up, because this kid was so kind and so nice and extremely optimistic, but he died trying to help people, and I'm not about to do that. And him seeing, that kid when he dies, it's just seeing like a little piece of humanity. Like, maybe this is worth it. Like, you're working the worst job you could ever do. But
dude, I'm so good.
Yeah.
I'm so good.
But you know what? Maybe there is a point. Maybe there is a purpose. And when he turns around to Yuji and he's like, you take it from here. I was actually like, you know what? I'm actually done. You know what? I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know why you do this to me. I don't know why you're hurting me. I don't know why you're damaging me. I'm not having fun anymore. This is trauma. This is violence. Like,
it was the best kind. But like, it was a very impactful moment.
The pain,
it was really great.
The pain you're really putting me through.
Also, I'm gonna say this once again. I'm looking to the camera when I say this. The amount of y'all that was down bad for that man, for that one scene in season 2. You know the scene I'm talking about.
Please.
The way that y'all were down bad for that man from that one scene is outlandish. The amount of cosplayers that has pictures of the grip, like someone gripped. Yeah, y'all motherfuckers, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm looking, ladies, femme presenting people, the non-binary squad. I'm looking at y'all. Because that man had y'all by the motherfucking throat. He had y'all by the ponytail in the back of your head, all right? Yeah, I ain't forget. Bob ain't forget. You nasties.
Please. I'm not even gonna say anything. Shut up. To our visual listeners, that was to my audio listeners, that was a visual gag. Sorry. The context will be lost unless you watch this on YouTube. Sorry. Okay. I do want to say just one last thing. I'm so happy that Jujutsu Kaisen has done so well as an anime, and I love it so much. One thing that I love TV shows that are just like, you know what? I know you like this character. I know you're attached to this character. I want you to know. I want you to know that I don't care. This story is a story. The plot is the plot. It is what it simply is. The people who won't die will die. The people who will die, and they will die a terrible death. So
yeah, like the grandma, her grandson, and the weirdly bald but not bald guy all got done dirty. Like, he was bald except for that weird ass fucking like dog tail piece on the top of his head. Motherfucker got done dirty.
Oh yeah.
I felt bad for them. Like, I didn't, but I felt bad for them.
Yeah, it was honestly, like, there's so many other things that you could say about JJK, but overall, one of the best anime I've seen. And because, like, I feel that way, I'm getting more into anime because I just want to, like, experience the genre and, like, see, like, what else is out there? What other anime are out there? What else is good out there? Like, what else have I been missing out on? And there's one new anime that I started watching called Solo Leveling, which is really
everybody's fucking watching that shit. Everybody is watching that. That's about to be the next anime I'm gonna have to burn through because y'all motherfuckers are putting me, like, I hate when I have to watch shows because people are spoiling it, but it's getting there with this one.
Yeah. I mean, season 1's almost over, so.
Not even out.
No.
Season 2's not even out. Y'all motherfuckers are out here. Do you know what you need to know? No, shut up. Shut up.
Honestly, such a good show. Such a great concept. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited for the finale. I started watching with my brother. Like, I started watching animes with my brother because he's really into anime, and he's the reason why I, like, finished Cowboy Bebop, and I rewatched. Such a great show. Honestly, like, I don't even know what else to say. It's so good. It's so smart. It's so interesting. Like, Western surrealism can't be replicated anywhere else. And as much as I love John Cho, like, the live action was a terrible idea.
Didn't watch it.
I honestly would say I didn't watch it either, but me personally, live action animes are an awful idea. I don't care that One Piece did well. There is a reason why these shows are animated. There is a way in telling a story and utilizing animation to convey the story to your viewers, and that doesn't take away from the art form or the story or the characters or anything like that. You do not have to make it to live action to make it better. It actually sometimes makes it worse.
I agree with you fully, because, like, if y'all don't believe me, Death Note
Note's live action is awful. It is awful. Lakeith Stanfield, I will never forgive you. Right? What?
There's another one. Before this one, you can look it up on the internet. Death Note has 3 other live action movies before the Netflix one. There's a part 1, there's a part 2, then they have L's final mission. Yeah. So there's 3, because remember how in the anime, L doesn't find out who Kira is. Some other character does. In the live action, L finds out by basically signing his own name to Death Note and giving himself X amount of days so he can't capture Kira. In my personal opinion, I feel like that was a better ending, because like adding another character to it, I felt like definitely felt a little more sloppier.
Yeah,
but that was smart.
Yeah, the Death Note ending in the manga is not at all satisfying. It's actually awful. It's actually it's an awful ending to what is a good story.
Yeah, you built a very great show, then you did that shit. I'm like,
why?
Well, yeah, but yeah, no, that shit. I'm just excited to see how this shit goes. But like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. Catching up on my reading tonight after everything is said and done. Probably gonna watch the movie tonight too. I just inject this shit into my veins.
Okay. Are there any last thoughts that you want to give on JJK?
No, I feel like once again, I feel like it's a great show. I'm excited to see where we're going with it. I'm about to start watching the manga, reading the manga tonight. So yeah.
Okay. I do want to say one last thing. As happy as I am to see that there's a season 3 coming up, I know that there's been a lot of talk about the working conditions from MAPPA, and
Yes.
I do hope that like that is resolved prior to season 3 coming out, because to be perfectly honest, I can wait. Like, you do not have to rush any kind of work in order to get this show out. And I know that like because the show is doing super well and it's very popular, they feel like the pressure to release the show in a certain time frame. But if it's at the expense of your
I'd much rather wait and let y'all take your time. Because I feel like the same way I feel about the show is the same way I feel about video games. I would much rather you take your time and get it done than to put out something that you basically had to rush through, right? Because that's too much pressure on the workers. That's too much pressure on like everybody. And I don't need a show that badly. There's other things I could watch. When you come back, like y'all put such a big dent in this series that like, or like in like the anime culture itself, that like y'all could take a break, come back, and motherfuckers will still be talking about y'all. Right? Like y'all made that much of a strong fan base that motherfuckers, the same way I feel like motherfuckers are waiting for another season of Hunter x Hunter, which ain't happening. Y'all can enjoy that too. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you make that itself a TikTok clip, people are gonna be pissed. Hunter fans get mad when you ain't talking about another season for them. Them what the fuck you mean? It's coming out next year. Y'all boys just wait. You'll see. You'll all see. Like, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh
but
gosh.
Take your time with it, baby. I enjoy when it comes out.
Yeah, and Hunter x Hunter is another show that is on my list to watch. I have to get into that too, but I feel like Bleach is like, I don't know how many seasons are in Bleach exactly.
Too many.
Okay. Okay. And Hunter x Hunter has like 5 seasons, right?
I think so. After I found out it didn't get another season for whatever season I was on, I just stopped watching it. I was like, I can come back to this later when it's complete. Boy, was I wrong.
Why isn't it not getting another season?
I think, like, remember correctly, the actual like the artist or the writer, his health isn't the best. If I remember correctly.
Okay.
So I think, if I remember correctly, that's exactly why. So, once again, the longer he gets healthy, wish that man a speedy recovery. It's like the reason why we don't get another season of Guts or Berserk. My bad. Yeah.
Right. I imagine that there is a time crunch when it comes to like making these kind of shows, because anime is such a huge genre in television, especially in Japan, and it's so popular, and you want to like,
and it's getting better. It's like the detail and the work, the art form is no longer we're gonna do like scream for like 2 minutes and our fists are gonna move so fast you can't see it hit. It's no longer that. Like the detail, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, fucking Demon Slayer. So many more of these shows are now showing exactly how far the art form itself has gotten. And it's beyond beautiful, right? So I'm just saying, just maybe, we let these motherfuckers breathe. We just let these motherfuckers breathe for right now.
Yeah, let them take a break.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you know what, guys? Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. We're going to end off with some recommendations. I do have one recommendation for everybody listening. It's a show on Tubi. It's called Borders. And I was actually surprised by it because I saw a couple of ads on TikTok, but it didn't have it didn't have that much engagement on there. So I was like, let me check out the show. This show is actually amazing. It's a phenomenal show. The show is centered in the UK, and the show starts with these white rich kids at a private school who pour their beer on a homeless person. And there are all these articles coming out like, oh, these rich white kids are so privileged, they don't understand like the meaning of hard work, blah, 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 blah. So then the principal, or I guess like the headmaster of the school, he goes to a guy who runs kind of like an organization to give like underprivileged kids a chance at a better education. So this guy picks 5 kids from South London to go to this very nice private school, and they're going there based off of their grades and other academic, other academic reasons. And these kids enter the school. They are the only 5 black kids, or like some of the only black kids in this like all white school. And one of the kids gets jumped in the bathroom and pissed on. Another girl sees a painting with the head, like the creator of the school, the founder of the school, and his slave, and she wants to get the painting taken down. Another kid wants so badly to hang out with all the white kids that he separates himself from all the black kids he came with and becomes friends with the white kids and starts drinking and doing dumb stuff in the name of, getting a job one day. Another kid is just trying to live his life and he keeps getting bullied. And another kid is thought to be a drug dealer, even though all he does is try to sell shoes. So there's a lot going on in the show. It's a stellar show. It's actually really, really good. And I feel like the fact that it's on Tubi, I hope that doesn't like take away from just like what an amazing show it is. And I feel like
it probably will.
Yeah, but I highly encourage you guys to check it out. It's only 5 episodes, and each episode is an hour long, so it doesn't take too long to get through the show. It's one of the best new shows I've watched so far.
Bet.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any recommendations for listeners?
I will always say, for those who haven't seen Tokyo Revengers, go check it out. If you're talking about another good shonen, and like I think now they're on season 3. I'm still on season 1. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Basically, the main character, after almost having like a near-death experience, he's able to go back in time to his old original like middle school self. And this gang he's running with when he was a kid, they become bigger as he's an adult, but he's no longer a part of it. They're trying to figure it's like a cold case whodunit kind of shit. Cause like his ex-girlfriend from middle school dies and her brother becomes a police officer. So they're now trying to figure out what leads to his sister's death and how can they stop the things in the past to avoid her death in the future. A whole bunch of wild shit in between that happens. So yeah, definitely give that a check out. Like I know for a fact season 1, if I remember correctly, as I'm looking at it right now, is on Crunchyroll.
It looks like the rest of the show is on Hulu.
Yeah. It's really good.
Okay.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
I'm gonna add that to my list. That looks interesting. That sounds interesting too.
It really is. Yeah, but go through season 1, then hop over to season 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Okay. Well, guys, you know what? I want to thank Bob for joining us today. Bob, where can the people find you?
Well, you guys can find me on all literally social media except for like MySpace as Taco Bob 1996. Yeah, like everything you need. Like if you're literally on any website, you're like, oh, I wonder what Bob's doing. Taco Bob 1996. You can find my extra freckle face ass somewhere.
Okay, guys, all of Bob's links will be in the description down below. Just want to thank you guys. Thank you for coming on. It's always a treat to have you on.
I appreciate that.
Yes. And guys, don't forget to check out Jujutsu Kaisen on Crunchyroll. All seasons are streaming there. Thank you so much for listening. Feel free to check out the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and don't forget to tell your friends and family about your new favorite podcast. I've been meaning to watch that. Follow us on all our social media, and we will see you guys next week with another episode. Bye.